The struggle of healthy hair lies between scalp care, retention, and choosing a style that won't hurt our progress. Hi, I'm Sandra. If you don't know who I am, I'm a braider of over 20 years, a hair loss specialist, and a clinical trichologist. And if you're trying to figure out whether or not Miracle Knots are for you, keep watching this video because I'm going to explain why, from a hair growth standpoint, you should be choosing these over knotless braids. Okay, so why not just get knotless? The problem is the braiding hair itself. The weight of the braiding hair can cause breakage, especially around the perimeter where you have weaker hair naturally. For a lot of people, that's where they're trying to grow their hair back. So when you take that tension off of that area, you're giving your strands a chance to grow and actually anchor. And even if your knotless braids don't feel tight, they can still overload the fragile edge follicles due to the weight. They're not meant to carry that much weight. And because they are so lightweight, you're reducing the risk of traction-related hair loss. Also, if you're someone who is allergic to braiding hair, if you're someone with an inflammation-prone scalp or a skin condition like dermatitis, psoriasis, eczema, etc., Miracle Knots are going to be the better choice for you. They create less tension at the scalp, which means less irritation and less inflammation. When the scalp stays inflamed for too long, it can trigger telogen effluvium, which is just a fancy word for a sudden big shed. Okay, let's talk about retention, and that is all about keeping the hair that you have healthy. So what I would do going into this is make sure that I'm getting a deep conditioning treatment, and then I would be sealing that in with a hair serum or hair oil. That's how you're going to retain moisture while your hair is braided down. And I would be using a water-based hydrating serum, not an oil, but I would put oil on the threads of the Miracle Knots so that they give more slip instead of tugging. And if you have split ends, I would get a trim beforehand because more than likely that thread will get stuck in that already fragile hair. So when you take it down, it'll glide out instead of getting stuck to your ends that are more prone to breakage. And speaking of a takedown, a gentle way to remove braids is by using a pre-shampoo. So something like African Pride that has a lot of slip to it. That preventative measure itself is going to get you a whole lot less breakage. All that being said, if you are a DIYer, these are definitely achievable and it's generally an easy process. But if you are a girly who cannot be bothered doing her own hair, book me at sandrasbraids.com. I hope you guys got some useful information. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments.